Welcome to a Purple Chips tutorial. I'm John Schwinghamer, the author of Purple Chips, published by John Wiley & Sons and available everywhere. Our tutorial today is about drawing your own EPS line on a chart. Part of the reason that I'm doing this is because I did get a response from someone who had read the book, and they referred to page 77 where I explain how to do this. And in fact, there was a little bit of a mistake in the way that I approached it in the book. And so I'd like to clarify that and give you a clearer explanation of how you can draw your own EPS line on a chart. So let me go through the key points. The thing you'll need, you need two things. You need, first of all, some tracing paper. You will need the EPS figures. And once you have those EPS figures, I'll show you how to line them up so that you can make your own scale on the tracing paper for the graph that you've printed. So we'll be using the first and the last EPS figures in a series. We'll be aligning those with the first and the last stock prices, and you'll be using the tracing paper to move or shift the EPS line as you wish, so that you can determine the valuation range, which is what we talk about in Purple Chips, which is the central theme of seeing opportunities. So let's go on to the data series. Over here we've got, we're using the example of McDonald's, MCD, and what you're seeing is one column has the date here, and I'll just use the little marker pen here so you can see the date series, and this column here has date. This column is the trailing 12 months EPS. The first number in our series is this 533, and the last number in the series, if I go right to the end of this spreadsheet here, which gives me all the data, is October 31, 1992. And so this is the other number that's very important to us. Now, let's go to a chart, and we'll figure out how we can use this data series to draw our own EPS line. So here you've got the chart of McDonald's without the EPS overlay. So you would put your tracing paper over a chart. So you would print the chart from any website, which would give you the time scale and the price scale. And then on the left of that chart with the tracing paper, you would build your own scale. Now what you would do is you would take those numbers that we looked at, the first and the last in the data series, and in the case of McDonald's, the 533 would be, we would set it so that the scale, you'd basically be going right across here. You want to follow the same line as where the last trade is, okay? So it ends up being something like this. You go right to the end here. Sorry if the little pen thing doesn't work that well. And so your scale would be right around there for the high. Okay, that would be the 533 mark. And on the bottom, you would put the 63 1/4 cent mark right around here. Okay, so your scale for the 63 cents would be right there. Then you would choose the midpoint of those two numbers, which would be here, and you would determine your scale. And so you'd continue your scale on the upside there, and continue your scale right to the bottom. So using the same scale that you've determined by fixing those 2 points with the stock prices. So first and last data point in the EPS series matches first and last data points in the stock price. And then once you've overlaid that, or you've drawn it on the tracing paper, you're actually going to end up with your data series, which is going to look like this. And what I'll do is I'll just go here, and I'm going to choose the data series. And so just like you would see normally, that's what it would look like. Because if you took the EPS series that I had in the Excel spreadsheet, you would come up with exactly this. So your data series starts at the first point of the stock price, and it actually ends right at the last point here, the last trade. And that's the key. It has to end at the last trade, because that's really what's showing you valuations. Because what you want to be able to do is once that EPS line is drawn on that tracing paper, you want to be able to move it. So you could say, for example, that the low valuation would be somewhere around $85 or so in McDonald's, and the high valuation would probably be somewhere around $98. which is consistent with previous highs. So that's how you would use that tracing paper. Once you've done it, that's essentially what you do. Now, the other thing you can do is, of course, you can refer to the Purple Chips website, and you could just go and look at the charts that we have. But if you want to do it yourself, this is a good way to do it. So you would be able to replicate the same charts that we use every day when we use when we make an update or do a tutorial or a webinar. And so that's it. That's all for now. I'm John Schwinghamer, the author of Purple Chips. Thank you for watching. And if you have any feedback, please feel free to contact me. Thank you very much.